So, welcome to episode 11 of season 3. If you just joined, this is Maria at Maria the Arcane on Instagram, and I'm joined always by Robin of A Tired Witch on Instagram. And we have a special guest, a very, very special guest. We have Frankie of A Chaotic Witchaunt on all social media, right? Everything?
Almost everything except for Twitter, but Twitter is like my shit post place.
We don't talk about Twitter.
We don't talk about Twitter. But everywhere else is chaotic witchaunt.
We don't talk about Twitter.
We don't talk about Twitter.
No.
Twitter's gross. Yeah, you can find me chaotic witchaunt everywhere. I have YouTube, I have TikTok, I have Instagram. I wrote a book recently. It's called Spells for Change, and that is being sold most places. I think. I don't know the details of where they sell it.
That's good. That's strong. It's strong to not know where our book is being sold.
I have no clue. Someone asked me.
There's no way to know.
Do you independently make these deals with publishing houses, like for different countries? And I'm like, no, my publishing does that. Like, I don't know anything. I know nothing. I'm getting less than 20%. I have no clue what goes on.
No thoughts. No thoughts.
But yeah, that's where I am.
So, as the beautiful Maria already said, we are joined today by Frankie of Chaotic Witchaunt. Frankie, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah. My name is Frankie. I also go by Chaotic Witchaunt on most platforms. I'm a content creator. I'm an author. I'm an Italian folk practitioner. I'm deathly scared of a moth that's at my door right now. I run a podcast called Books and Broomsticks with my co-host Matt, and we just launched our Patreon, which I am mentioning because we only have 5 patrons right now. And
that's still very exciting.
I know, it's still very exciting. We got 5 people, and we're all talking about plants.
I'm pretty sure that's where we started.
Favorite. I love talking about plants.
I think we started at like 3 or 4 patrons, and we love them a lot. So
I love them very much. What else? I am a big fan of plants, herbs. I have now about 20-ish houseplants, maybe a little less.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe a little less. I'm not quite sure. I got 3 today in the mail.
That is what I aim to be.
I'm surprised that they're not dead yet. I did kill like many on my journey here. But they're alive. And
that's good.
Apart from that, I love animals. I fuck around a lot with my dogs. Not fuck around in like a weird way, but fuck around in like a... That came out wrong. I like dogs. All right, there we go.
No, I'm a dog person too.
Listen. You know that you're a TikTok content creator with when you say, I fuck around with my dog, and then you have to be like, but not in a weird way.
No, I've actually had people comment on my posts, at least.
I remember that. That's why I thought of that immediately.
Em doesn't know any of this. Maria doesn't know any of this. So Maria, and this will be a little intro as well for me and what I experience on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know that audio that goes... if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? It's that audio with the amount of times that someone insinuated that I was fucking an animal.
Yeah.
Based off of a TikTok that had nothing to do with that.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
I actually think it happened 3 times. Someone insinuated that I was looking at my partner's dog weird and was like, what did you do to the dog? And I'm like, nothing? Why do you think I did something to the dog? And then someone else was like, haha, this is funny because it sounds like this, and mentioned something about bestiality. And I was like, that is not funny. You need to leave. And block them.
TikTok's such a wild place.
That is the only app that stuff like that happens on. Like, at least in my experience.
I honestly don't understand. It's the wild, wild west. Every once in a while, you get really weird comments, and you kind of sit there for a second, and you're like, I don't understand why you had to tell me this. Like, not everything needs to be a TikTok comment.
Makes you feel I needed to know that. Actually,
why did you look at a 15-second video and say, this person looks like they're fucking their dog. Why did you think that? Awful.
And really,
Sounds
that's
like
what it comes down to.
Projecting.
Yeah, there's a much deeper core issue happening there.
Core.
I'm just like, I looked at my dog. I not even weirdly looked at a dog. And you were like,
how do you
what'd
weirdly
you
look
do
at a
with the
dog? No,
I
like,
just
how
looked
do
at
you
it. Like,
weirdly look at a dog? Like, not to be funny, but like, do you not love your dog? Would you not look at your dog affectionately?
yeah. Or like in a knowing way because you guys shared something. Like, that's how I am with my animals. I look at Daisy and I'm like, I know you know, and we know this together.
Maybe
Daisy's
someone was
my
just on like TikTok scrolling while high. I mean, it happens.
I
Maybe.
don't know. And I don't want to know.
Couldn't personally be me. I've never smoked the devil's lettuce. I'm a God-fearing Christian woman.
Smoked the devil's lettuce.
I'm a God-fearing Christian woman, and so I personally have never partook, if you will.
God-fearing Christian woman.
There's literally none like within 3 feet of me. None.
I could never personally do it. I just go, what would baby Jesus do? And babies don't smoke weed. So
I moved to Colorado and I don't smoke weed, which feels like kind of a failure on my part. But here we are. I think that's most of my intro. I'm on TikTok. It drives me nuts. I like plants. I wrote a book.
What's your book about? Tell us a little bit about your book.
It is called Spells for Change. I wrote it as kind of a beginner's guide, a foundational guide to witchcraft. So I wrote it with a few things in mind. And that was, one, someone who didn't know anything about witchcraft could pick it up and start practice after reading it. And two, people would have an idea of where to start if they were a beginner witch. It's not meant to be super thorough. It's not meant to be super in-depth. It's meant to give you little snippets of different parts of this kind of foundational practice. So it builds with cleansing, protection, banishing, binding, all these kind of things, like talking about meditation, grounding, divination, tools, what witchcraft is. And so it gives you a nice little, like, I would call it like a charcuterie board of witchcraft.
We love a good coochie book.
Oh God,
I love a good charcuterie book.
It is a charcuterie book. It's a charcuterie board book because I think the biggest criticism I've gotten on it is I wish there was more information in it. And I'm like, see, here's the thing. That wasn't the point. You're getting little bits and pieces, and I'm not adding any tradition. I'm not adding any religion in it. I made it very much not super influenced by me or like certain like traditions beliefs or certain religions beliefs. And because of that, anyone can read it and then be like, I'm a Christian and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then or someone can be like, I'm a Wiccan and I want to try this out. I'm like, okay, cool. It doesn't matter which area it comes from. It'll make sense and you can change it to work with your practice.
I like that. I think that's important, especially in a beginning book. Like, because I think a lot of witches feel like they have to be a certain way or subscribe to some sort of belief system when they really don't. Especially, I've picked up like a few beginner books and they're like, this is how we do it. And it's like very in depth about how they do it. It's like,
you have to do it this way.
Exactly.
Because this is witchcraft. And so I said, you can really do it whatever fucking way you want. Whatever.
Make it your own. Right? Yeah.
I think added a lot of
I read your book when the UK version came out, which was in September?
October,
I think. I read your book when it came out then. So obviously the US version came out in April. And I think it's a really nice, soft intro book. It is nice little snippets of this, and this. And I think it's nice. I think you did a good job.
I definitely didn't mean for it to be super in-depth. I know a lot of people were like, I wish there was more. And I'm like, I know that you think that because I made a YouTube video on this, I can write an entire book on it. I can't. I cannot. I added resources at the end for further reading. So if someone finds something they're interested in, they can find a book at the back of Spells for Change that helps them learn more about that topic.
I love a good resource page.
Which I love that. I love when I read a book and I find something I'm interested in, and then someone gives me another book to read, and I wanted to be able to give that to other people. My favorite part of my book, it has in-text citations.
Love that.
That's my favorite part. They tried to get rid of them, and I said no.
Actually, no.
Actually, no. These are important. You have to keep them in. They're like, it kind of looks clunky, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Keep them in. And they left them in, which is a win for me. But that's about everything about me. I have a couple plants that I can show you guys if you put the video on Patreon. Around.
No. Nobody's gonna look at our plans. I think at this point, if they wanted to see our plans, they would tell us, and I think they're all over it at this point. They're like, we get it.
More plants.
If you just joined us this week, every single week we talk about upcoming lunar phases. And on the day at which this episode is aired, the nearest lunar phase is the new moon in Cancer on June 29th, I believe. I think technically the astrological is the 28th, but like it's the 29th. Anyway, new moons in Cancers are really, really good for releasing energy that you're basically holding on to that is no longer serving you. And I know that that's like such a generic thing to say when it comes to new moons, but specifically new moons or any moon in Cancer is one that is aligned really heavily with like held on to emotions and grudges and just kind of baggage that we're not quite ready to let go of because our emotions are, nurturing them, as it were, in Cancer moons. And so when we've got a new moon in Cancer, it's a really good time to evaluate the things that you don't want in your emotional home anymore, as it were. If we, a vessel, are our home and our hearth, what's something we don't want to have at the table anymore? And the new moon in Cancer is really, really good specifically to deal with that. So evaluate shit that maybe it's time to release and let go of. Simultaneously, this is a good time to do magic that involves home protections and kind of refreshing those sort of wards, etc., because Cancers deal so heavily with, our home, our emotions, and the things that make us feel safe and comfortable. So either release shit that you do not want to have anymore or put up some fresh wards. You guys have anything that you're going to do?
Yeah, I completely agree that Cancer is a very like a home and hearth type of sign. And like, I really think self-care and stuff like that is so important during like Cancer new moons. And also making your space like super homey. Like go ahead and like clean up your house, make it super cozy because it's starting, if you're like in the Northern Hemisphere, like it's starting to get freaking hot. So you might be like more wanting to stay inside. So make it a little cozy if you're not able to like go on vacation.
Yeah, make it a little bit less hot, miserable, and enjoyable to be around. Simultaneously, because
for someone who works with a
go ahead.
I was gonna say, for someone who works with a lunar goddess, I really don't know much about moon.
Well, what I was going to say is that actually speaking to you made me think about Diana, and because it is the new moon in Cancer, if you are somebody who lives next to an ocean, this would be a really good time to evaluate doing some sort of ocean-based magic. The ocean is connected very heavily with the moon. Cancers are their planet is the moon, although I know that the moon is
they're literally a crab.
I feel like
they're literally a crab
in the ocean.
You can pee in the ocean.
You pee in the ocean and make
nobody
that a spell.
can stop you.
Release.
No, like make it a spell.
Release.
You could,
Yeah.
Pee in the ocean for a release spell. That's pretty good.
Do it. I don't recommend pooping in the ocean because if that does come back at you,
no, you're gonna kill fish.
Don't do it.
Pee is sterile.
Sure.
Poop is not. Oh my god.
So, if you just started listening to us, every podcast we talk about a random tarot card. We go over the universal meanings and then our own interpretations of the cards. Hearing other people's opinions helps beginners form their own opinions, or even those who have been practicing for a while expand their views on other meanings. So, this week we are talking about the Ace of Cups reversed. Looking at the upright imagery on this card, you see a large cup and a hand offering it, taking up most of the card. But the water is pouring from this cup in great abundance. It kind of gives that impression of a fountain. And the water is pouring into a body of water that is covered in lily pads. And diving into our cup is a white dove carrying a white coin with a symbol of equal arms on it. And I've also heard that it also looks like a wafer, like given at, like, you know, religious
Church
stuff. But
the Jesus crackers.
The Jesus
wafer.
crackers. Exactly.
Yeah, Jesus crackers.
So, Jesus crackers. Yum. The universal keywords this card reversed are blocked creativity, being drained, repressed emotions, and gloominess. When this card pops up in readings for myself and clients, it shows a few things. One, someone is wanting to start over emotionally or creatively, but they haven't given themselves a break to heal, or they still haven't officially ended what has brought them into needing a fresh start in the first place. And then secondly, someone is doing a lot for others emotionally and not taking care of themselves, like pouring out of an empty cup. For either of these scenarios, taking an emotional or creative step back is very important. And when it comes to emotions, emotions in particular, this could mean like taking a long bath to give yourself a break, or doing something even bigger, like ending a relationship that is literally making you miserable. Or creatively, you know, it could show creative burnout. When you push yourself too creatively, too often, too much, it can leave you feeling uninspired. So this could mean experiencing the world outside of your creative endeavors for a bit, or even trying something new, like creatively, like just going out of your usual medium. Inspiration will come back to you, but you've got to give it time. The worst case scenario I've ever seen with this card reverse is when someone hits a super low when it comes to drinking too much and not seeking help that they need, and is literally ruining their chances, new chances of happiness. Okay, so how do you view this card, Robin dear?
Well, for me, this card is a lot like the Nine of Cups. You know how we've talked about this before, where I feel like the Nine of Cups sometimes comes up as a grass is always greener on the other side, where it's like a careful what you wish for. The Ace of Cups reverse is very much so like that, where we have this, when it's upright, right? We've got all this potential, this given opportunity, this, you know, momentum. All we've got to do is continue with it and good things can happen, right? When it is in reverse, to me, it's very much so a using momentum based off of others, as opposed to our own personal potential. We are going with the potential that others are telling us that we want, that others are kind of feeding to us, as opposed to our own wants, desires, etc. And so the cup was never really full to begin with, because it wasn't filled with our own passions and desires. And so when we have it flipped over, it's well, of course the well's dry. We never had passion in this to begin with. And it's a huge reevaluation card, in my personal opinion, and a reminder that, you know, we have to chase our own dreams, not the things that people tell us that we need to go for, if that makes sense. Does it? Or am I rambling?
No, that makes total sense. I have interpreted it that way a few times. So, yeah, like, I agree with you.
You know, you got somebody who's constantly telling you what you want.
I was trying to...
Oh, go ahead.
I was making kissy faces at my dog and trying to get her to come over here. She is not. However, I always see the Ace of Cups in reversed as a level of insecurity, or a level of kind of self-love that isn't present in someone's life. This is the card that when I see it, I tell the person that they need to like do an emotional check. Like, are you taking care of yourself? Are you prioritizing your feelings? Are you making sure that you have space to kind of heal or to feel whatever you need to feel. Because the Ace of Cups represents emotions and an abundance of that, to me at least, I've always seen the reversal of it to be a stagnancy of emotions or someone kind of blocking off feeling their emotions. This card to me almost reminds me a lot of the time of like the Empress, which I think is an interesting correspondence. But with the Empress, there's a lot of self-care, there's a lot of nurturing, there's a lot of taking care of yourself. And with the Empress card and the Ace of Cups, I find them to be very similar and have similar messages in my readings, along with the Seven of Wands, which is like standing up for yourself, taking care of yourself. Which those are like my three. Like a lot of people come to me with readings and I see the Ace of Cups and I'm like, bitch, are you all right? We got issues. Like, you good? Like, it's even worse. Someone came to me and had 4 reversals. It was the Sun reversed, the Six of Cups reversed, the Moon reversed, and then one other. And I was like, sweet Jesus, are you okay? And like, I'm sorry, but like, this is bad. It was like 3 of Swords was in there too. Like, it was trademark, like horrific. I can pull it up. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up because I remember looking at it and being like,
emotional damage. Jesus Christ.
Emotional damage. This is, okay, here we go. I can zoom all the way to the bottom. What was it?
Yikes, right, I hope they're doing okay.
I mean, it was someone got like a gift for their friend. And it was like, whatever they need to hear right now. And I'm like, oh my God. So, okay, here we go. Yikes. All right. Yeah. So 8 of Pentacles reversed, 6 of Cups reversed, the Moon reversed, the Sun reversed, and then the 10 of Cups reversed.
Yikes.
Poor baby.
Like, and I was like, sweet Jesus, your relationships are not doing well. Like, something.
Yeah.
Take care of
Imagine
yourself.
being given a tarot reading as a gift, and that's what you get, and you're just like, you know what? Maybe tarot's not for me.
Well, like, I felt so bad because I'm like, oh, this person needed to call out. They didn't. Yikes. Sorry, bro.
It's not me.
Yeah.
It's
not me. It's the cards. Oh, but yeah, that's my opinion of the Ace of Cups.
But the tarot says otherwise.
Tarot says it's time to reevaluate.
This isn't me.
Let
me tell you. All right. So, as this is a guest episode, Maria and I decided after our amazing episode with Tenny that we were going to maintain the drinking game thing, at least for a little while.
Fun.
It's so much fun. Listen, if you want to hear about different Sabbats, check out our old episodes. We are here for drinking games now. Okay? That's what we do now. For guest episodes.
Isn't like one of the things to do on solstices and equinoxes is get drunk.
So, if anything, we're doing God. So, consider that, guys. Now, that being said, last time we played Never Have I Ever, and that was very fun.
So
but this time, I found 2 lists. I found a list of, it's like a SparkNotes list of the way that the Malleus Maleficarum, which I'm probably pronouncing
do
wrong.
that word.
Which is it's called the Witch's Hammer, is from the 1400s, I believe. 1486 to be specific, and ways that you can spot a witch. It's a witch hunter's guide. I also found a list of things that would qualify you as a witch in 1692. And I'm going to read them. We're going to drink to these things and find out whether or not we would have been murdered for being witches. Now, I would like to preface before we start this as a gentle reminder that the people who lost their lives during the witch hunts of both Europe and America weren't witches. None of them were.
Well, we don't know what. Like, all
it is
of
assumed.
them.
It is assumed that none of them were, and if any of them were, it was such a small percentage that it is not worth noting in the grander scheme. So we would just like to preface that in starting, because realistically, as we will go through this list. You could have been burned for literally anything. So
anything.
I figured we'd start with the 15th century and then we'd work our way to the 17th.
I'm ready. Let's go.
It sounds like you did all this research. I was going to start at the 15th century.
We're going to start at the 15th century and find out if Maria would have survived. I don't think she would have personally.
I'm not going to survive. I'm going to drown.
I think I have a small chance.
I know I don't, because in 1940 I would have been lobotomized. So if we're going back in time beyond that, there was a lot. Listen,
look, I'm just saying, if I was on trial and Robin was in the audience, I'd be like, that bitch did stuff with me. And
they would believe her, and here we would be. Everyone in the audience would be like, that tracks. That fully fucking tracks.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that being said, like I said, I don't know if I already said this, I will be keeping a tally. And at the end, we will find out which one of us definitely was burned, while the other two obviously will be remaining innocent, just absolutely untouched by the hands of, the townsfolk. So we're going to start with the 15th century.
All right,
now,
here we
each
go.
of these lists have a little blurb that go with it. I'm going to skim over it just so we can get an idea of a little bit more context for what they're saying.
Okay.
So, starting with the 15th century, the first one is she a woman? While men have been persecuted for using witchcraft, the majority of those accused of being witches are women. So, everybody but Frankie drinks.
Everybody but Frankie drinks. Ha ha.
Yeah, well, guess what? The next one, I'm pretty sure, is being young, so...
I know, the only time being non-binary serves me, or being gender fluid
this one is so good. The next one is so good. Do they look like a witch? Now, be careful here. The book references witches as looking like crone-like or hobbled, so Maria needs to drink immediately.
I do. Scarlett teases me all the time about I dress like I'm a granny. So okay.
Then it says, every old woman with a wrinkled face, furrowed brow, hairy lip, a gobber tooth, squint eye, squeaking voice, scolding tongue are not only suspected, but pronounced for witchcraft. So, I don't know, have all of you waxed your mustache recently?
I don't have one.
I had to do that
blonde.
like a couple weeks ago, so...
Once
again, Robin too. You got mustache too.
I'm going strong. I haven't taken a drink yet. I may be the sober one here.
I really have got a squeaky voice and a mustache. So represent my hairy bitches. What's up? This one is really crazy. I'd never heard of this one before. This one is a stomach turner. Does a witch cake affect them? If you want to know if a person is a witch, you can take the urine of the victim of the witch's deeds and mix it with rye meal, ash, and make a little cake. Then
you wouldn't get sick of this. Who would not?
Fun fact, I would get sick because rye is gluten, so I have to drink. So this is, even if the urine didn't get me, the rye would. I would get sick.
Same for me.
First of all, listen, we're going to learn a little fact about me, okay? Not a lot of things turn my stomach.
Robin likes to drink tea and pee. That's all she's saying. She likes to drink urine.
What can I say? Golden showers is not legal? No, that is a joke for those listening. That is a joke.
No, it's not.
You have to tell me, because I can't tell when things are jokes.
I am not into water sports.
Yes, she is.
Just kick both of you off at this point. I actually have, aside from when I was pregnant, I have a stomach of steel. I could have eaten that. And I could eat it as long as I don't think about what's in it, and I can swallow it and get it down. So
yeah, I get sick.
No.
I get sick eventually, probably, but...
No, that would take me out within about 10 minutes of downing it because of the gluten. I can't believe it. Celiac gets me, not being a witch. Fuck.
Well, I hate to tell you, okay, but both of you are about to have to drink again, and I won't have to because I'm a fat bitch and it pays off once again. How does she stack up against a Bible? Here's where a good BMI would be helpful. One way used to determine if a person was a witch was to weigh them against a Bible or a stack of Bibles. In theory, is that if she weighed less than a stack of Bibles, she was guilty.
Yeah.
However, in some places, it's the other way around. But considering that that's what they're going off of first, you two are skinny.
How many Bibles?
Am I? Yeah, I know.
Oh,
How many
you are
Bibles?
skinny. I don't want to hear it. Listen,
I
both of you
am,
have
though.
to
Like, I'm
drink.
not going to argue. I was under my
Both
weight
of
class
you
for the first, like,
have
10
to
years of my life.
Listen, once again, being fat pays off, okay? I would outweigh that stack of Bibles in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, they'd be like, that fat bitch? She could not be a witch. I can see with my eyeballs.
Oh, my God.
All right. How does the witch stack up underwater? In the ultimate damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, suspected witches were often tied to dunking chairs and lowered into a river to see if they would sink. Witches would not be baptized due to their contract with the devil, would be spat out of the water, an element used in Christian baptism. So in theory, the theory goes, if a person is dunked in the water and springs out, you've got yourself a witch. On the flip side, if a person is dunked in the water and does not come up, they are not a witch. Therefore, who amongst us can swim?
I can swim, but also I'm baptized.
Does
matter.
Does it count if I have to hold my nose?
No, as long as you can get under the water. Can you get under the water?
Maria's like, I don't want water in my nose.
Listen, guys, here's the deal. It doesn't matter if you're baptized or not. It's about if
I don't have to drink.
if you
That's right.
swim and you can save your life.
anyways.
Can you save your life in some water if you had to?
Yeah.
You're a witch.
Yeah.
You better drink it. You gotta take the fantasy out of it, and we're just talking pure context clues on this one.
Love.
If you can swim, witch.
A witch.
You gotta remember, it's the 15th century.
Like, even then, like, especially like if you're near a body of water, you would have to know how to swim. Like, if you didn't know how to swim, you would
No,
die.
if you swim, you're a witch.
You're a witch.
Maria.
Wow, this is some real witch talk happening from Maria.
Real IRL witch talk. If you swim, you're a witch. Fuck that freckle test. Can you swim?
Oh, I've
Witch.
seen the freckle test too.
No, please. It's
Do you have blue eyes? You're a real blue
No,
eyes.
have you seen the new TikTok where like they ask you if you have any freckles on your right forearm?
I
do not have any.
seen that.
Oh wait,
I
no,
have
it's
seen
if you have any ancestors who are witches. Apparently, I'm the first in my line.
I got a whole bunch of freckles. So what does that mean?
No, on your like right here, like underneath your right here.
I don't have any.
Me either.
Oh
But
my god, are
you know
we
you-
the first of our kind?
You're not. You literally have history.
No, I don't. Freckle test doesn't lie, Maria.
I was thinking next time my dogs bark, I'm not gonna mute and you can hear me yell because it is funny. Dixie, what do you want?
All right, next one. Does the witch talk to themselves?
Oh,
Another
damn it.
sign that a person was potentially a witch was if they were caught talking to themselves. One of the women killed during the Salem witch trials was Sarah Good, who was sometimes heard talking to herself when she left a person's home.
I narrate everything I do
Me
at every
too.
part of the day, so
everyone
out
needs
loud.
to drink
I already
up.
did.
Drink.
Hi, baby. Do you want a french fry? Do you want a french fry?
Scarlett will literally walk into the room and be like, who are you talking to? I'm like,
Don't you worry about it.
myself.
Literally, don't worry about it. You're being very presuming and rude. Okay, the next one. Does the witch have a quote mark? If a woman had a mole or a birthmark, they could be accused of having a pact with the devil. The mole, the birthmark, was believed to be a sign of such pact. Do either of you have a birthmark or a
Yup.
prominent mole?
I have one on my
3.
leg and one on my ass. That's how people can tell me when I'm a baby.
I don't have any
There you-
birthmarks. I just have freckles.
Are you
You're
serious?
lying right now.
I have one between my boobs, one on my side, and I have a mole right here on my
I have-
shoulder.
Quite a
Once
lot.
again, I get
have
you. Listen, guys,
many.
So far,
Hey,
it looks like I'm the only one surviving
Lay down.
tonight, okay?
I have 3, 4, 5, 6. I have them like everywhere. Like I am covered in freckles and moles on both arms.
Burn them.
On like here, up on my
the witch.
collarbones, on my face, on my
Burn the
ass. Burn the witch.
All right, the next one. Does the witch not bleed?
What does that mean?
If a woman had freckles, they would be pricked with a knife blade, or a needle. And if the woman did not bleed when pricked, she was a witch.
I do bleed. A lot.
So, do you guys bleed?
Yeah.
I guess you're safe on that one. I also bleed when cut. Does the witch have a broomstick?
Fuck. I have many.
Fair.
All right, so everyone here has a broomstick.
One second.
Obviously.
I'm just imagining the woman who's like, who can't bleed has just been chewing on so much like white.
They've got a clotting issue.
Yeah, the clotting issue.
From, like, chewing too much of the white. What is it? White birch bark?
White birch bark. Yeah. They're literally dying internally. They're like, look at this witch packed with the devil.
Before we continue, I have to pee because I drink so much water.
Okay, go pee.
Let's do this.
Okay, so number 10. Can the witch say the Lord's Prayer? It was believed that witches could not say holy words. One unfortunate woman misspoke the part of the prayer that says, lead us not into temptation, and by dropping the not. She was quickly hanged for asking God to lead everyone into tempted sin. So can you read the Lord's Prayer? Because my ass can't.
Yep, no. I can. I'm a folk Catholic witch. I'm a folk practitioner. And I'm an Italian folk practitioner. Do you know how many times I recite the Our Father and the Hail Mary?
I couldn't do it.
Although I will take
a gun to my head.
I will take half a sip because I forget the Our Father sometimes. Hold on.
I remember the intro. It's like, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. You want to hear my Hail Mary?
Like 60% of that, so maybe 70%.
You were good in there. I didn't know it for a while.
But I haven't thought about it in 20 years.
Yeah, that's a mood. I get that.
I haven't at all because I was raised Mormon. So
what?
I mean,
you got a Mormon in the room.
Were you really?
Oh, you're dead.
Oh, yeah.
You're in a cult.
Sweet Jesus.
Right, a witch cult.
A Mormon cult. We're all cults, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so that leads us out of the 15th century. Okay. Now we're going to fast forward to the 17th century and out of Europe. We are now moving to Salem, Massachusetts, and the reasons in which people were killed for being a witch. And so we're going to move on. Now, there's 17 of these ones, okay? We only had 10 when it came to the 15th century. So, and this one is very specific. You were assigned female at birth, is what it said. Anybody with female assigned genitalia.
Are you serious?
Swear to God. Swear to God.
Bananas. Okay.
Everyone who had or has a womb, had a womb,
or at least
have a
their
womb.
External appears as though it might be a womb-having person.
Because they literally can't check.
Apparently, so I Googled this when I saw it at first. I was like, this was the fucking, 1800s, 1700s? The fuck you mean? 1600s. The fuck you mean? Like, we weren't worrying about the binary at this time. I Googled it. Apparently, a person... Like, this is before we had language that dealt with, like, transgenderism, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently, a person moved to Salem and was living as a man, but was assigned a woman at birth and lived their life as a man because they wanted to live independently. It actually had nothing to do with their, like, gender identity. And it went to, like, court and stuff like that, and they ended up killing this person.
What?
And so that's why this article specifically brings up that it doesn't matter how you identify, it mattered what your genitals were. So,
oh my gosh.
And that's
Eat my ass.
That is bananas. So bad.
People in the 16th century were wild, man. Or 1600s, 17th century.
That's crazy.
Wild times they were living in, not us. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
You were poor or could not financially support yourself alone. Now, we're living in 2022.
All women couldn't financially support themselves?
Yes, but specifically we're talking about us right now.
Okay.
I can say with a firm grip that I need my husband's income to also pay part of our bills. I can't do it by myself.
Get some parent money. So
I'm trying to think. Like, I think I could if it was just me.
I could if it was just me too, but I am living in my parents' house.
I've got a kid.
So it's like,
I have a kid.
That's true. Okay, I'll drink.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just me, yeah, totally. But I've got a whole ass child.
Especially with healthcare.
A child.
And healthcare prices. I mean,
don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. All right, now we got the opposite end of things. You're rich or financially independent.
I'm a little bit of that too, but not at this very moment.
Well, I think you should drink again then. Yeah, honestly, I think you're a little bit of both. You're dipping your feet in both pools. Very sad to see, actually, Frankie, that you had to get both rich and poor, but here we are.
Well, I'm living in my parents' house, but I run my own business and definitely can financially live on my own. But at the moment, am I completely financially independent? No. So it's a little bit of both.
It's a double-edged sword. Now, the next question, and this one, I know both of you are going to drink to, myself as well. It's okay. You have one or more female friends.
Oh, fuck.
Any group of persons, okay, that had multiple non-male friend groups were deemed a coven.
So just non-men, not necessarily female? Well,
non-binary in this situation counts. Coven.
I think it counts too because they said assigned female at birth. So anyone who's assigned female at birth and non-binary is considered a witch. That's crazy.
So if you're hanging out with like a bunch of people like repeatedly, they'd be like, "That's a coven."
Coven.
You couldn't my just friends be wanting to catch up
or get coffee together. You're a coven. They're like, Mary's sister Margaret is really hanging out with, I don't know, Mary Sue
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, that makes sense. Coven of witches.
Coven.
You have an argument. You have had at any point an argument with one or more of your female friends. Infamous witch finders like Matthew Hopkins and John Serene inspired such terror in the community that it didn't take long for women to accuse other women of witchcraft as a way of deflecting their own indictments.
Okay, do we have like a time frame? Because it's been like about maybe like 12 years since something like this has happened.
Since you've had a fight with a friend?
Yeah. Unless a Scarlet is considered she is considered a friend, of course.
Scarlet's a woman.
Ethan's
but she's also my wife.
Hold on. So you're trying to tell me that you have had an argument with a woman recently? Very interesting, Maria.
I have not. I have had an argument with a man. Which means that I'd probably get hung anyways.
I'm going to let you slide on this one. Maria, however, arguing with women, very bad, Maria, very bad form.
Oh, well, then I argue every day. Every day.
Couldn't be me.
God.
Couldn't be me.
You better drink that wine. I'm just kidding.
Well, don't worry. Everybody else is going to buckle up for this one. You've had an argument or disagreement with anyone recently.
What the fuck?
There we go. We're just going to go ahead and check that one off. Another one for everyone.
I get angry because my boyfriend wouldn't refill my water bottle after I asked him. To be fair, I was exhausted, but he was like, I'm going to do it.
Circling back, you have had an argument with somebody. Very interesting, Frankie. Very interesting.
Yeah, it lasted all of 10 minutes. Maybe 20.
Now, I'm going to tell you what this one says, but before anybody decides if they can or cannot drink, I will be reading the blurb that goes with it, okay? You are very old. Older women both married and unmarried, were extremely susceptible to accusations. Rebecca Nurse, for instance, was in her early 70s when she was tried, convicted, and put to death for being a witch. Now, I know none of us here are in our 70s, but we're a mixed bag of married and unmarried. So
But none of us are old.
Do I have to drink because I'm the oldest? Because that's really rude. That is so rude.
First of all, you're the oldest by like 9 months. 1600s old, okay? People lived to like 40, okay?
Yeah, but I'm...
No. No. I need you to circle it back. People got married at 18 at this time. Frankie, how old are you?
21.
Ooh, spinster. Everybody here has to
That was a
drink.
lie. I'm actually 23.
Yeah, spinster. You need a drink. Everybody needs a drink.
Okay.
Fucking, you're well past your maiden phase,
To
everybody.
be fair, I am still perfectly fertile, according to my doctor, at age 23.
I would like to know why your doctor is talking about your fertile window. How bizarre is that?
That was
We know
also
when
a
I was
lie.
pregnant-
Listen, you get me drunk, I'm just going to start saying shit, and I can't promise that all of
we
it's
do
true.
We do too.
Listen, here's the thing.
do
When I went to
too.
the doctors when I was pregnant, they described my pregnancy as a geriatric pregnancy, and I've never recovered. I've never recovered from that. I was
Like, maybe a couple years over 30. That's ridiculous.
I'm a geriatric pregnancy.
You cannot be a geriatric.
My brother brings it up at every single opportunity that he can. He's like, listen, you old bitch. You a geriatric pregnancy, bitch.
I can't. You need to keep going.
This
I'm almost
one-
out of this cup.
This one I don't think any of us will drink for.
Okay.
Because again, we've all said that we're all spinsters at this point. You
Yeah.
were very young.
How
Dorothy
young is
Good
young, though?
Was only 4 years old when she confessed to being a witch. So none of us are 4. So you are married with too few or no children. And the example they give is less than 6 children. Well,
What? You got less than 6 children? Drink!
witch!
Witch!
One second. One
Unreal.
second. Can we just imagine for a second having 6 children?
I would literally rather peel all of my toenails off.
I would kill myself.
Now, see, I would rather have children than puppies, but 6 children is
No.
still way too much.
I would rather have 6 puppies
are
than
the
6
devil.
children. I would rather have 6 puppies than 6 children because at least you can put a puppy in a pen and then walk away and not worry about that puppy doing some sort of escape
I like how
artist
the dog
act
barks. That's
and then
perfect.
hiding your fucking pens.
Go lay down. She's like, you're not giving me any attention and haven't for 2 hours, therefore I'm going to start throwing a tantrum.
I think that she's literally barking during the perfect time, so
Hey,
Now
Quiet.
the next
she's
question.
defending herself.
she is
The next
defending
question
herself.
I have here, guys, it's going to take you to use your brains. A little bit of thinking power here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know your neighbors at least vaguely? Do you guys know your neighbors at least vaguely?
No.
Okay. At least vaguely. I'm not saying
No,
you're
I
not
literally haven't. I just moved here. I don't know any of my neighbors.
Wow. This feels like an early cop-out to not drink. Amazing.
It is a cop-out, but also
Your
I genuinely don't know
are
them.
having trouble conceiving.
Oh.
Now, that being said, if a young couple nearby is having a difficult time to conceive or have been married for 5 years but have less than 3 children, you might be a witch.
Bullshit. That's so rude.
I'm sorry, Maria. Sounds like, I mean, all my neighbors.
Okay, look, on this side of the house, there's 3 children, but on the other side of the house, there's 2. That's
Wait,
that's
how does
no
that?
fair.
How does that? Where? So you have 5 kids?
No. My
They have to have
neighbors
been
have
married
3
for
over
5
here.
years.
I
and
thought
2
you meant
over here.
literally in different sides of your house, and I'm
If-
like, how is that possible?
No, I have 1, and that's enough. We're good.
So, Frankie, are there less than 5 children at the houses to one side or the other for you?
I think there's. Hold on, I have to think about this. Okay, I've seen
Frankie might
at
be a
least.
witch,
I've
guys.
seen at least 3 over here. I've seen 2 to 4 on the other side. So
which you're gonna drink.
Well,
which,
Robin's just making me drink at this point.
which nobody fucking has that many goddamn kids. Okay, they just don't. Unless you're like one of those people that's like,
I was just trying
God
to
will provide. I've got 17 children. You have exhibited stubborn, strange, or forward behavior. Now let me explain.
No,
That's
you don't
so
need to.
rude.
I'm
You
just
don't
gonna
need to
drink.
Let loose any kind of sass, back talk, and you might be a witch. You ever?
Yeah, that's I do a lot of that.
Oh.
Why are you making that face?
This is not very good wine. This
You were
is
supposed
very...
to be drinking moonshine. Why aren't you drinking moonshine?
I didn't listen. Let me explain. I am not drinking moonshine because the moonshine provided to me that I was going to drink was not the moonshine brand. This was actual hooch that was made in somebody's bathtub. And I was like for it. I was like, let's have some moonshine.
Locally made moonshine.
I smelled it and the hair burned off my nostrils. And I went,
but
you know
that's
what?
good moonshine. That's good moonshine.
I have Everclear.
Great moonshine to make hot apple pie with and like get shit-faced next to a bonfire with you and possibly burn to death on. But I thought we're recording in front of a bunch of people and I do need to stay awake. And so because it was so fucking strong, I decided to go with the wine.
I just want to mention that teenage Maria, because I lived in Germany, so I was able to drink since I was 16. But anyways, I drank, what is it, 180? 188.
180 proof?
Oh yeah, no, like it was an actual brand or whatever. And I would like pour half a cup with some like orange juice, and my wife would just watch me drink it, and I would be like, "This is good. This is fine.
We're gonna have a little moment here, guys. We're gonna go into Robin history. When I was a younger woman, I had a friend who's probably listening to this who had adult relations with a bouncer at a club. Alexa, if you're listening, hope you're doing well. And because of that adult relation that they had with a bouncer at a club whose name was Kyle, he was very attractive. So
how do you remember all these names? Do you have like a little
I went there for 3 fucking years every day for the most part. Okay, that's how I know. Alexa had adult relations with Kyle. Kyle was a very attractive man. We give Alexa props for the bullet she took to the team. But Kyle let us in, and between the hours of 10 and 1 every night, except for Saturday, was $2 a drink. And I would get her shit face, and we drank some of the craziest shit that was always like 1 million proof alcohol, and to this day I would get blasted and I'd go to work at 7 a.m. the next day.
How did we do that? How did we do that?
Listen, I was like in college, I went out, I got drunk on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays, and got up the next day for 9 a.m. classes. Now, if I have wine, I am out at 9 p.m. till 8 the next morning. Like, it is bedtime.
I'm planning to sleep in till 11 tomorrow.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
So
couldn't be me. I've got a child.
What's it called? I was thinking about.
Don't worry. They'll turn to 10, and then you don't have to worry about them because they will take care of themselves.
There was something that I wanted to say, and I forgot what it was. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
Let me think about it.
For the record, while you're thinking about it, I just would like the record to state that Maria is losing so hard on this. Maria will most likely be burning at the end of this.
It makes me so angry because you literally predicted this on Twitter, and this is very rude.
But for the record, when I predicted this, I was joking.
Was
it joking or was it intuitive?
Well, I am a professional
It may have
psychic.
been intuition.
For celebrities, if you recall.
Can I hang this in my bra?
Yeah, do it.
All right, what do we think?
If it fits, it sits.
I don't even have a bra on. This is just my shirt. All right, what do we think?
so good for you.
Okay,
It's nice.
Robin and I were talking, and we're like, well, I'm not as drunk as when I was talking
Just
to Kenny.
kidding.
Just kidding. I'm going to start removing my earrings soon. The hair is
I
going
was
to come
just
down.
thinking
Right.
about that. I was
We
like,
have
it would be
got-
great right now if I took everything off, like my head.
Exactly.
We have
Exactly.
5 more to go, guys.
Oh,
We can
sweet
do this.
Jesus! My microphone's in my boobs, Robin. I'm not sure I can do this.
You can. And you should get ready to drink because it's a double up. It's if you have a mole or birthmark. Again.
Again? That's
This
bullshit.
is a different century. What do you want from me? I don't. Once again, Robin remains
There was something stuck in my
witchless.
teeth, and it just came unhinged with the wine, so that was a little weird.
No, I'm
It
pretty sure
always
this
feels
one.
good.
I'm pretty sure this one we're all gonna drink on. Are you ready for it?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Butter or milk has ever spoiled in your fridge?
Nope.
You've never had milk
when I
spoil in
did
your fridge.
drink
What kind
milk.
of milk? What kind of milk?
It doesn't specify, Frankie.
So, like,
This
any
says
milk? Because I've had oat milk spoil. Hold on.
Well, it's a fucking milk, bro. Drink up. Unreal. It's crazy to me that Frankie was trying to get out of that one,
Well,
guys.
I'm like, we haven't had
Listen,
milk
guys,
in our
it's
house
really
for
crazy.
ages.
Listen, Chaotic Witchaunt is literally gaslighting me right now, and it's crazy. I can't even believe this. I feel
Robin,
unsafe. I
Don't
don't feel
get me
safe.
started.
I don't feel
I will
safe.
shoot this rubber band at the
I don't feel
computer.
safe. Somebody help. Here's another one that I know we can all drink on.
no.
Have you ever had sex out of wedlock?
Fuck!
So much sex out of wedlock, bro.
I am catching up.
My personal mantra is that if I hit it and don't like it, I will not date them. I am a very sex-oriented person. I have my worst sexual experience. This man said, "Can you go down on me?" I said, okay. His penis was 1 to 3 inches. He insisted he wasn't hard, then came, and then fell asleep in my bed.
Yikes.
And also came in about less than 10 seconds.
When I tell you, and I say this, I know
It's
my husband.
horrific.
I know my husband is going to edit this. Okay. When I tell you, I'm so glad I don't have that problem anymore in my life.
I don't
Same.
either. Well, this was a guy
Same.
from like
Less-
college.
I don't have a problem with anyone doing
We're good
anything like
now.
that.
We are good now, and I am very
people,
happy
like,
about
when
it.
I was dating my wife, everyone warned her that like I was a player, but I was a player
They were
because
like,
no,
they
wait.
were like, Maria is a
Because
slut.
I would
And your
literally,
wife
I
was
wouldn't
like,
waste.
oh my God, not my wife.
I wouldn't waste time on people. Like I would be like, the emotional connection wasn't there. Nothing was there. So
I
I'd be
was
like,
definitely
like-
definitely a slut in college, and I use that word in a positive way.
Listen, we're gonna
But
talk
I
about
was
this.
curious about sex. I had been dating people all throughout high school, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to date anyone, and I'm going to fuck everyone. I fucked 4 people on the baseball team.
Love that for
go
you.
you. Love
Proud
that
of
for
myself,
you.
and I can rate them. One of them was
Wow.
not so
One,
good.
2, 3, 4. It's a first, second, third, and not even
They're
getting a
like,
participation
already left
trophy.
the game. Why are you rating me?
Listen,
They're like, don't you have a boyfriend, Frankie? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. And he approves of me rating your mediocre penises. Okay?
Listen,
Me and him have conversations.
I'm an accidental angel.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a Puritan.
Okay.
Listen, I was a virgin until I got married, guys. Sorry to
That's
say
Did you
a
that.
say you were
lie.
a Puritan?
I'm a
A
Puritan.
virgin.
I'm a
Wait, what?
virgin. I'm a virgin until I got married.
That's
Never
a bold-faced
saw a
lie.
penis before I saw my husband. I saw my husband and I was like, finally.
Okay, I'm gonna be
Finally,
honest.
I
Some
met a
penises
person.
do be very strange, and some be very pretty. No, like dead ass.
No,
you know how?
listen,
Okay,
dead
here's the
ass,
thing.
No, listen, dead ass.
Every single.
I went to art school, okay? I took 3 semesters of nude figure drawing and or painting, okay? When you say that there are some body parts that just be looking funky, you're right. It's just a fact.
I have never seen a vagina that I would deem as quote unquote ugly. I've never seen a
have.
vagina that I'm like, because I don't judge.
Listen.
Men I will judge.
I think on a surface level, I think you're totally right. There's no such thing as an ugly vagina. However, when you see 4 vaginas a day, every day for 3 straight years, there does become a point where you're like,
What are you, a gynecologist?
I know, right? I was just thinking the same thing.
I was an art major.
Listen, I am not turned off in any way.
Boobs and penises and buttholes I've seen in my life. So
listen,
goddamn many.
Here's the
I
deal.
can't even tell you that there's some very nice looking buttholes. It just happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mine is not one of them. It looks a little weird. You have to make a note and tell Frank to cut that out. I can't talk about my butthole on the internet.
Here's the thing: I'm literally not going to tell him. And I'm
I gotta text him. Hold on.
No, Frank, if you're listening, do not cut the butthole out.
Frank. Hold on, Frank. Wait,
Frank's not at the computer editing going this.
Francis. Okay. You need to cut out the part
and then start with the Frank part so there's no context.
You know what he's done? Frankie, you've done something very bad. If you hit send on that, I hope you know that.
All I'm saying
Listen, all I'm saying is Maria and I have been doing this with Frank for 3 years, and when we tell him to cut something, he usually snips it and puts it at the very beginning of the episode. So
I will just not say
I'm saying it will literally be you. It will literally be you going, yeah, I mean, I've got a really nice asshole. And then it will be like, welcome to episode 11, everybody.
Okay, but here's the
all
deal.
I'm just saying is tip your editor, and if you want to do that, you should do that on Anchor.
Have you ever seen a penis that is curved but downward?
Yeah.
With like enough curls that it could be a full head of hair.
Yeah.
What?
And also stinky.
What?
Again,
It's really bad. It was
I've
like
been in a lesbian relationship for now like 16 years, so that's really scary.
Here's the thing. I have decided that if me and my boyfriend don't work out,
Maria,
I'm done.
Hold a gun to Maria's head and she'd be like, I couldn't help you. Couldn't help you. Been with a woman
so
for almost 20 years.
I don't need after this, if me and don't work out, if we don't get married, all right, which I think we will, but if we don't, I'm done with penises. They are exhausting. Everyone is so needy. My boyfriend's gonna listen to this and be like, did you fucking call me needy? And we'll be like, yeah, I did. Remember Saturday? And he's gonna be like, shut the fuck up. And everyone on here's gonna be like, what happened on Saturday, Frankie? And I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna tell you. It was Sunday. It was Sunday.
But seriously, what happened on Sunday?
Yeah, tell us. It's fine.
All I'm saying is men or people with penises, I'm going to say men, because I have a feeling that identifying as a man gives you this. Men get horny, and it is the only thing they can think about until something is done about it.
And be me. I'm married to an adult man. He's fully grown.
Married to an
and
adult
so
man.
His penis actually does take the side road many times. I was pregnant, didn't have sex for like the last 4 months. Because like when I tell you, if this man touched me at the end of my pregnancy, I would have cut it off. Straight up. What do the kids say these days? No cap.
We are still in the first year of our relationship, and we are both young.
Love that for you.
To be fair, when I get turned on, it is his problem for the rest of the day. So it is both our issues. He was literally like, entire day Saturday, I was like, hey, dude, you want to fuck? And he was like, no. And I'm like, okay. And I try every hour. And then the next day, he woke up and it was only about 4 hours. The difference is when I'm horny, he doesn't cave, and when he is, I cave.
Couldn't be me. I've had sex like
I'm just imagining you
that resulted in a child.
Handing him a survey and be like, "Are you ready?"
Can you rate your experience on a 1 to 10 scale?
Well, I'm like sitting there, and it's like I did the whole 9 yards. Okay, I showered. I came out naked. I was like, "Can you help me put lotion on?" Like I went through everything, and he was like, Can I just play my video game?"
It is crazy to me how white you are right now. You literally just said, "I showered. I was like, could you put some lotion on my body? You are a middle-aged white woman named Clarice.
I am. Do you think I know how to do this stuff? I don't.
I can't deal with you. You literally walked out and you went, I got this stuff at True Loving Baby.
Bro, I got a candle. Can you pour some wax on me or something?
If you were to massage that into my butt.
No, but literally, I am a middle-aged white woman. When it comes to sex, I don't know what I'm doing. I literally
is Frankie the Karen of sex?
Our sex life is us looking at each other and being like, do you want to have sex? And him being like, or being like, yeah, or me being like, or being like, yeah, and then just doing it. Like, we just don't, there's no like very sexual like foreplay, like kissing, tension. It's just like, hey, are you in the mood? No. All right, I'll come back later. Or, hey, you want to fuck? And it's like, yeah, I could fuck. And it's like, all right, let's fuck. That's it. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. That is our life.
Wait. What sign is your partner?
My partner is all Sagittarius and Capricorn placements.
So cancers love foreplay, right, Robin?
I'm not going to speak about my sex life because I am, again, a virgin. But hypothetically speaking, if I wasn't a virgin, I would say mayhap that would be something I'd be interested into. I'm just learning about sex recently myself. Again, a virgin. I'm just not looking into it in like a theoretical and
hypothetical
kind of way.
Did you know that penises exist?
What is that?
Exactly. Dude, sometimes men throughout my life have been like, and I've been like, and they've been like, why not? And I'm like,
so number 16 is, if you have attempted to predict the identity of your future partner, you ever daydreamed about your soulmate, written their name in cursive in your notebook? Well, you're dead.
bottoms up.
What is that? What do you have in your head right now? Is that wine?
This
is a red cap.
Yeah, so this is a little rubber cap.
Oh, it's like a wine. Yeah, okay.
Because I had some last night when I took a bath.
I saw the red cap and I was like, is Frankie drinking sake?
No, I am not. Look at my plants. I love them. Anyways, continue.
Is that in a Starbucks?
All right, it's our last question,
this
guys.
Isn't a
it's
Starbucks
our
cup.
very last question. It's our very, last,
very
question.
last question.
Get ready for it.
Okay.
Have you ever broken any rule in the Bible? Ever?
I wore cotton next to linen once.
I'm assuming they mean New Testament, but still.
I really like lobster, so
Ooh,
I mean,
they are really tasty.
Couldn't be me.
They are so tasty.
Well, everyone, listeners who are still listening at this point, I would like you two to guess who has lost.
Maria.
Maria has lost so hard.
Wait. Go ahead.
With
Announce
a
the scores.
whopping 18 points, we have Frankie in second place. Woo! With a whopping 17 points, we have Robin in third place. And with a whopping 22 points, we have Maria in first place. Congratulations, Maria. You won.
Oh, yay, I'm dying.
So it's good to know that both in the 15th, because I would like to point out that both in the 15th and after the 17th century, Maria has gotten the most points in both categories. So it doesn't matter what century Maria was in. She was fucking dead. So
I was dead. It's fine. It's fine.
I get the hiccups
like,
now.
I've made my peace with it.
Rip.
It's fine.
Guys, this is a Monstera. Shout out.
I have the hiccups.
What?
I have the hiccups because I've been drinking too much. Yay.
Anyways, I'm gonna go take a nap.
So, Frankie, what is stirring your cauldron this week? That was really good. I'm so proud of myself.
That was really good.
Really good. I was like, sweet Jesus.
Maria definitely has the hornier voice than me too. So
I want to hear Robin's voice. Wait, Robin, go
next
ahead.
one. No, the next one.
All
Next
right.
one.
so what's stirring your cauldron?
So what is stirring your cauldron?
What is stirring my
Yeah.
cauldron? I am really enjoying the books by Stephen. I forgot his name. Oh my god!
A very good book then.
He's a horror.
Titles.
Stephen Graham Jones.
Okay.
He writes horror novels. His most recent one is My Heart is a Chainsaw. He is an indigenous author, and he also wrote The Only Good Indians. He is a master at horror. It is amazing.
I love horror
It
books,
is
so I'm going to check that
wonderful.
out.
It is stirring my cauldron. I love him. He's like very underrated. He's Denver local. He
Can you
like
do me a
writes in a
favor
way
and
that,
text
you know,
me
when
this?
you finish a book. Yeah, hold on. So when he writes like, you kind of sit there and then it gets crazier and crazier and more horrific. And you just kind of, I sat there with my mouth open for half of the book. And when you finish it, it haunts you in like a wonderful way where
love
you
that.
continue thinking about it for at least 2 weeks after, which is my favorite horror book. Like, those are my favorite books.
Yeah.
The ones that I am going to think about for the rest of my life. So he is stirring my cauldron. I love him.
Love
I'm gonna look that up.
Love
Amazing.
a good book. 10 out of 10.
So Frankie, what's not stirring your cauldron this week?
Since it's Pride Month, the straights. Only the straights.
Only them. Okay, that's fair and just.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Did you know more to
Same.
elaborate on that? or
No,
we
just the straights. Every straight
Perfect.
person not stirring my cauldron this month.
fair enough.
Someone's gonna listen to this and be like, "I'm straight and I was offended," and I'm gonna be like, "Suck a dick." You gotta cut that out. I feel
Depends
like I
on who
will
it is.
offend. Will offend
No, it
someone.
depends on who it is. Maybe they wouldn't want to suck a dick because they are straight.
Or would, because they are.
Or would, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
very
like-
complex response
Yeah.
given the scenario, Frankie.
Like, either way, they might be like, yes, please.
Yeah.
They may be like,
Yeah.
"Yes, please." They may be like, "No,
No, thank
I don't
you.
know." Either way,
It's,
dick
you got a
sucking.
mixed bag there. Like
Dick sucking, pussy eating, anything in between, because those aren't the only
Perfect.
two options.
perfect. In future, I recommend as a response saying "suck my shit" because across the board, it doesn't matter who you
Ew.
are. Nobody wants to suck
Gross.
shit.
See, now I'm thinking about it, and I'm probably gonna gag in the next 5 minutes.
You're welcome. If you just joined us this week, every single week we talk about creators that we are loving right now. This could be anybody from a blogger, an author, a photography artist, a painter, or, just something that we saw online that we thought was pretty cool that you guys might also vibe with. As a reminder, these are not paid sponsorships. These are just stuff we found organically and we think is pretty rad. So that being said, Frankie, who are you vibing with this week?
Vincent Van Gough.
I just honked like
Some
a goose.
say the original content creator.
The original content creator.
I just
I'm
honked like an
fucking.
actual
I'm fucking with Vincent Van Gogh this week. All right, that's all I have to say. And
There
also
you
because
go.
I can't think of anyone else, and he
There
just
you
popped
go.
into my head first.
That's
so.
fair, just and valid. Maria, who are you vibing with this week?
So they're on Instagram. I don't know their other handles, but Hysteria Machine. They do really intricate like metal masks, and also they also have these wall hooks that look like hands. They're so beautiful and so well made. I don't know. I would love to buy a mask from them and like do a whole photo shoot. And their photos for like their products are absolutely beautiful and insane. But I also want that wall hook.
Oh my god, I just looked them up. These are so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
So good. Right? Aren't they pretty?
Yeah, that's so rad. I was thinking very steampunky when you said metal mask, and I was like, not for me, but cool for you.
No.
But I look it up now, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's that fucks.
Yeah, and some
slaps.
of their masks, like, there's no eye holes. Like, you're just gonna have to like, someone's gonna have
you don't
to
need
like
to
place
see.
you like a sim.
You don't need to see, and if you be able to see, why don't you shut the fuck up? Okay, how about that? You don't need eyes to see. Sometimes seeing comes from the heart.
Who you loving?
I am currently, listen, I'm going to just be really transparent with our listeners. And that is, if you guys want to buy me this, you absolutely can. Okay. My P.O. box is listed on my Amazon. So feel free to send me a present. My sister-in-law is super into Dungeons and Dragons, and she's basically been trying to get me to play with her for forever. And I have played a couple, but now my brother's playing, and I was like, fuck it, let's do it. But my rule was that I wanted dice, so I was looking for dice, and I found this maker called vulvariousrpg, which I also kind of like the name because it sounds like vulva. And they do a specific one. They do a specific one that is strawberries. It's called like strawberries and cream.
Of course, it's strawberries and cream, and the name sounds
it's
like
called
vulva.
Strawberry milk polyhedral dice set, 8 pieces. Again, my P.O. box is listed on my Amazon if anybody wants to send this to me.
I don't even play that game, and they're super cute.
They're so cute. They're so cute.
I will use those for divination.
I will figure it out. Okay, I will make this a multi-purpose. They are $90. I showed my husband, and he basically told me where I could put that idea for spending $90 on a pair of dice, but I think it's worth it. And again, if anybody listening wants to buy them for me, I will hold your hand in a public space, and I will tell everyone that we're friends. Love you so much.
I will nod to you in the hallway.
I will literally kiss you tenderly on the forehead, okay? And I need you to just consider that.
Consensually. I will kiss you tenderly on the forehead, and I'll tell you that you're doing a really good job. So think about it. And just consider it. I'm just saying, Robin probably loves them so much. It might be a little sensual.
It will be so sensual. Again, consensually. I will sensually kiss you on the forehead. I'll just go. Thank you all for joining us today, and we hope to see you again at a future date because I forgot to write the date down.
June 24th.
2 weeks from now.
No.
This episode is coming out, but 2 weeks from Friday, the 24th, whatever day that might be, one could never know. Now, that being said, you can keep an eye out on our Instagram or on our Twitter. You can follow us there at Coffee Cauldrons on Twitter or Coffee and Cauldrons Pod on Instagram. I've also recently made a TikTok. No idea what's going to be there, but we're going to find out.
And there is a Tumblr coming. Like, a Tumblr has been made.
I got the
Why did you do that?
We got so much social media.
Tumblr is actually pretty active. I'm just saying.
Tumblr is shit talks me, so I don't belong.
Well, there's a lot to shit talk. Now, that being said, I love you so much. If you're wondering where you can find all these links at, you can go to coffeeandcauldrons.com/links to find us anywhere.
Or even better, you can join us on our Discord tier, which is First Coven on Patreon, so we can answer your questions in our part 2. If you've been loving Coffee and Cauldrons, please, please, please take a moment to review us on Apple Podcasts or even on Spotify. Like, we really appreciate it, and we love reading.
We do.
Love reading your
even
reviews.
If we've made merch, even if we've made Patreon exclusive merch out of some of it, we love you so fucking much. Truly
so much.
And honestly. You'll even get to hear our lovely, sexy, sensual voices for an additional 30-ish minutes for being on our Patreon casting tier and up.
So, again, this is Coffee and Cauldrons
With Robin from At a Tired Witch on Instagram.
And I'm Maria from @MariaTheArcane on Instagram.
And I'm Frankie from @chaoticwitchaunt on Instagram.
And we're all drunk. Let's count down. Ready?
So drunk.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
1, 2,